Well, if you're just joining us, this is No One Likes the Tuna podcast, the world's premier dedicated Fast and Furious podcast. I'm Nick Nocera.
I'm Daryl Wong.
And welcome. Daryl, how was your week?
Really good, man. I had a very, very chill week.
Sweet. We posted our first episode last week. Do you know how many listens we got?
I have no clue. Like 200?
No.
Less?
Not that much.
Like 20?
Way less.
Like 20?
Way less.
Okay.
Way less.
All right, like 10?
We're not popular.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So I definitely...
People forgot about us.
I totally fumbled on my part. I didn't do any of my homework. I didn't do any Facebook. We'll get some ads. We'll keep this rolling.
You gotta,
I'll get back into the pace of
moving,
things.
baby.
Yeah.
Baby. We watched Too Fast, Too Furious this week. So that's the movie we're here to discuss on a too serious basis. I guess.
I just watched it.
What do you want to talk about?
Yeah.
You just watched it. You're fresh. I watched it yesterday.
Yeah. Good. Mm-hmm. I can tell from your text message you had a bad time.
It sucks shit. It's really not a good movie. But I will say it turns a corner for the second half.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, go for it.
I had a really good time, actually.
Did you?
I haven't watched these movies since we ended the podcast. So
me neither.
It's still fresh to me, and I had a sentiment last week where I was like, these movies are actually doing pretty well. I think it's sort of like bad, and then sort of like we peaked it for ourselves. We made the movies really good, and then they sort of like went back into the dips again. But because
of like us watching them over and over again, they went back into the dips.
Absolutely, we punished ourselves, but
it's
sort of
horrible.
Yeah, just like bell-bottom jeans. I mean, everything sort of like comes and goes, and I think sort of these movies are sort of back in favor as far as I'm concerned.
They are for me too, but like the first half of this movie still sucks fucking shit. It's so fucking bad. Once actually the rat scene, which we've always felt is like this crazy out of place insano scene in this movie, is actually felt like this turning point to me where it's like it transitioned in the second half of the movie, which is like all of a sudden like more Connor Verone or whatever, Carter Verone, who turns out is kind of good. Like the stakes get raised, the action sequence, the plan starts to come together. Everything sort of starts clicking into place, and the movie kind of gets good for the second half. That's how I felt watching it this time. That scene outside the boat.
At the end?
You know what I'm talking about? No, when like Eva Mendes sleeps with Paul Walker.
She doesn't sleep with him. She shows up. She shows up at his apartment, wet for some reason.
She swam there.
She swam there.
It's a
right?
It's a boathouse.
She jet skied her way over to the boathouse.
Yeah. So she's there. I bet there is a cut somewhere, like on the cutting room floor of her, like arriving by jet ski or something. She's there, but then the goons show up. Enrique and Roberto show up. And there's a standoff outside with Paul Walker and Tyree.
Gets hot.
And it gets hot. And that scene is magic. Where like Paul Walker's like, you put the fucking gun down!
No, you put it down! You put it down! You put it down!
It's really good. It's really good. So, I appreciated the second half of this movie today. Yeah.
There was some additional color sort of for me today, specifically around the rat scene. So my girlfriend Jess was here, and she was watching it, and she was like, hey, like this... She was like, do you know where this comes from? I go, no. It's from 1984.
Kind of.
Kind of?
They put it on his face in 1984.
So she took the liberty of sort of reading me the excerpt. I did a little pause. I got on it. I was like, very graphic. Very
Is it close?
What do you mean? It is.
Is it like line up kind of close?
It does line up kind of close. Like the eating of the face thing is like very scary though. Much scarier than the eating through the big fat belly.
Yes. And in 1984, he talks a lot about like his greatest fear is rats and like Big Brother. They use your greatest fear against you and all that sort of shit. But the thing I thought was very creative and innovative about this particular rat scene is the heat, like as an incentive for the rat to go down. Because if it's just like a bucket,
he's just gonna chill there.
He's just gonna chill there. He's just gonna like be a rat who's like chilling on the stomach for a while. It's like nothing really is gonna happen. But if he is, if there's heat applied, he's got an incentive to dig into the stomach, which I think is like an interesting twist. I thought it was very creative. I actually wrote a note about that it was a very creative torture scene.
Mm-hmm.
Some fucked up mind came up with that. Who wrote this movie?
I don't know.
Can we look it up? I'm gonna look it up.
Like, who wrote the screenplay?
Yeah, who wrote the screenplay for this movie?
I don't know.
Gary Scott Thompson wrote the characters. Yeah, he wrote the first one, I think. Michael Brandt. What else has Michael Brandt written? Question mark. Oh, he wrote Wanted.
Okay.
That Angelina Jolie, James McAvoy movie.
Yeah, Bend the Bullets.
Overdrive, starring Scott Eastwood. Another Tuniverse character.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I saw that one.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. 3:10 to Yuma. That's a movie.
That's a
All right, so he's done
a
some
famous
stuff.
movie.
Yeah, Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Famous enough where that they tried to make me watch it in summer school. Historical purposes, right?
What is?
Wait,
Is it like based on a true? I don't think it's like based on a true story.
No.
3:10 to Yuma.
Maybe I'm mixing it up with something else.
Russell Crowe's like a liarman, and Christian Bale is a outlaw, or maybe I've got that backwards. And like he has to escort the outlaw to somewhere to be tried, and there's like a bunch of there's like the outlaw's gang is trying to break him out, but then they encounter a bunch of shit. There's a lady involved, I think. It's crazy. Yeah, it's an okay movie.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, what do you want to talk about this week? Too Fast, Too Furious
Let's
related.
see. I mean, I got a small one to start. So
pick it out.
We were trying to figure out how old everybody was, and when they're showing the driver's licenses, it says Brian Earl Spillner is born in 8/29/73, which puts him at. Does that sound? That puts him
at 24 in the first one.
Does it? Well, so when
because it was 2001. No, it puts him at 28.
Right, and then 30 in Too Fast. Right? Because wasn't that 2003?
Yeah.
Right? It kind of messes with our timeline a little bit, and
It does mess with our timeline. But they wouldn't change his birth year. I mean, there would be no reason to change his birth year.
Right.
Right? And it's like, if I'm an FBI agent setting this up, I want to fuck with as little details as possible.
To reduce the margin of error for your guy to sort of blow his own cover.
Up.
Right.
So that means that if we're saying that these movies, as they come out, are like a chronological passing of time, so are we saying that? You know what I mean? Like if the first movie came out in 2001 and they're 28, then this is 2003, they're 30. Are we saying like 2 years separating the movies is 2 years in the passage of time in the movies?
I think yes. I think that's how we've been rolling so far.
Because they refer a lot in this movie to him letting Vin Diesel go.
As a very sort of specific sort of marker in his
life.
Right.
And Tyrese mentions it a lot at one point where he brings it up, he's like, was that why you did that thing for that guy in LA? He's like, yeah, I think that had a lot to do with it, you know? And the cops mention it, obviously, like, whose side are you on kind of deal. So, but do you get a sense that they talk about it like it was 2 years previous and he's just been fucking around for 2 years?
I think so. I think that sort of lines up, right? He ditched out of LA, and it took him sort of like a year and a half or so to sort of like street race his way across the United States, and he has sort of like lived in Miami for long enough now to have sort of developed his local reputation as a best street racer in the game. So,
all right, now here's my next question. Now we're obviously going a little past too fast, but like, I think we really need to nail this down and figure this out. If that's the case, so we know Tokyo Drift, the timeline is off. It was made in 2006, but it takes place in 2018.
Yes.
Something like that. Something like right. It takes place between 6 and 7. Doesn't it? Or 7 and 8. I can't remember, honestly. I haven't seen the movies in a while.
I think it might be between 7 and 8 because Shaw 2.
Somebody's killing. Right, okay.
Shaw 2, the purpose of his visit to Han or to Tokyo is to like send Dom a message that he's coming.
No, it takes place between 6 and 7 because there's that whole thing like Shaw. They go to Han's funeral in 7, don't they? And then Dom like drives that car and races.
Greetings. This is Riddick from the Chronicles of Riddick. Just popping over into the Tuniverse to tell you guys there was a slight fuck up during the course of this episode. And now, back to Too Fast, Too Furious, which I was not in.
Okay, so what's going on here? Notes. First of all, 2003 was a big year for women in hats. Like, they're just wearing them everywhere.
Right.
Suki wears hats. All the Oasis girls wear hats. You know, they're like those Irish, like, what do you call those? The cheese cutters. There's like cheese cutters everywhere.
They've got fedoras and like,
cowboy hats.
sort of like bandolero sort of style hats with the tassel decorations on them.
There was a lot of women in hats. Yeah. Just something I noticed, especially in the first scene where they, what are they doing?
They're dropping off the road closed signs.
They're dropping off the road closed signs. Yes, the race scene. That skyline, bro.
So sweet.
It's one of the best cars in the series. Like, no doubt. It's so fucking good looking.
Yeah. I was actually watching some other sort of like YouTube content. I guess the owners of those cars and some of the guys that were responsible for the first few movies here of getting the sort of the cars for the movies.
Max texted me something about this. Is this where you picked it up? He texted you too?
He didn't text me about it. It sort of just came across my YouTube feed. But these guys go into sort of great length about sort of the origin of these cars and sort of like how they got Universal to sort of pick them up and
right.
A lot of just about how...
Was it like Nissan being like, please put our skylines in this fucking movie?
No
Or was
way.
it like, this is the culture and this is what these guys would have and like, let's make it real.
Yeah. That's exactly
because the first movie feels real as fuck.
Right. It's very. I think there's a lot of crossover, I guess, between the guys that sort of pulled cars to the first movie and pulled cars to the second one. But it's very much sort of like cars that they had in their own collections or people they knew who had these cars. And the paint jobs on them were obviously done for movie purposes. And they go and they talk about it all the time. And that's sort of like their thing, which is like, dude, they're so ugly. It's like the moment we sort of relinquish these cars, we were like, please don't do that. And the moment they get them back, they're like, we're going to take that stuff off immediately.
The Evo and the Spider specifically are two of the ugliest cars I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
Not just in the series, like, ever seen in my fucking life. But the Evo and the Spider are, and they talk about them the whole time, like, Jimmy, the rapper, I can't remember who plays him. Jin, who's Jimmy in this movie. He fucking like he's like oh man, I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, these are hot.
You know?
So hot
These
they
are
can
hot.
they can take you like in they'll know when we're driving without your seatbelt on.
Yeah. So he's into the cars, but and they're like, no doubt, don't even think about taking the convertible. You know, like Tyrese isn't. They're fucking hideous.
Right.
And I can't imagine in 2003 they were good-looking cars.
No.
like we weren't that stupid in 2003.
Yeah, who are you trying to fool here?
Yeah, who are you trying to fool? 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
Actually, is who you're trying to fool.
Yeah.
These movies, we always should keep that in mind a little bit. That these movies are for 12-year-olds.
Right.
You know, but hey, I like them. What else? You want to do shout-outs?
Yeah, let's do some shout-outs.
Actually, before we do shout-outs, there's something I want to talk about just on a serious note.
Sure.
Paul Walker's stand-in, I believe, like a body double, which, by the way, turns out he uses all the time. Like, if you're not seeing his face, it's not him. It's a stunt double. So it's a stunt double. Got very injured on the set of Fast and Furious 9.
Whoa.
And is in critical condition and is in a coma right now.
Oh, my God.
Yep. So I'm reading this article. This article is from Global News, or it's just the first hit on Google.
Mm-hmm.
Halted after a stuntman was severely injured while filming in England. I think the guy's British. Joe Watts is his name. He's a stuntman and circus teacher at a school outside London.
Mm-hmm.
Says there's serious injuries. I think he fell and cracked his neck.
Whoa.
Honestly, is what I saw from the other article. Man had been injured while working in a location, sustained serious injuries. The air ambulance attended. Yeah, he's been a stuntman in a bunch of stuff. Everybody's kind of fucked up about it, it says.
Wow.
So,
Is this is it the same stunt double he's used since sort of like the first movie here, or is it more?
I don't know.
more
I
recent?
think
Yeah.
my guess is no, and the only reason I say that is because they're filming in England, and this is a British guy.
Mm-hmm.
So that seems like they hired him because of the location, and he's in England and stuff like that.
Right.
I don't really know how it works. A lot of times stunt guys are just like hired for the day on the day.
Yeah.
I work in the movies, and our stunt coordinator like finds guys around the area, and like, not that they're not qualified or trained or certified and stuff like that. It's just like they're not flying guys in from LA to do these stunts here on the movie,
Right.
I'm working on. So
Hey, yeah. I mean, as friends of the movie and friends of the sort of like the franchise overall, as we like to consider ourselves, like sending good Tuna
good
vibes. Yeah, all
good
the way
vibes,
out there.
all the way, man. Like, I really hope this guy's okay, and I hope he survives, because honestly, I think it's a question at this point, and like I'm pulling for him,
Mm-hmm.
basically. I hope the rest of the fans and the Tuniverse are pulling for him too.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to mention that, because like it's definitely something that's going on in the news right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout-outs?
Let's do some shout-outs, man.
Yeah, you go first this week, buddy.
So this week I wanted to give. I think I'm going.
Oh, by the way, it's like we do product placement weirdly on this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's it.
I wanted to give an anti-shout out this week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, big anti-shout out to customs agencies.
Ooh. Did you have a problem? You went on a trip recently.
I went on a trip recently, so yeah.
Okay.
As it relates to the film we just watched, U.S. Customs, and sort of the wahoos that represent them, I was recently traveling in Europe, and man, I mean, navigating through, I think it was in, maybe it was here. I forgot. I forgot where it was, but I think it was in London that I was trying to sort of navigate from Spain through London. And they have all these processes for deboarding these planes, and they have like a bunch of sort of crazy ways for you to catch your connecting flight and then recheck through customs and do all that. But
yeah,
for all of the sort of systems they have in place for deboarding the plane and moving people and getting them through their gates, their actual systems for like processing people through customs, totally horrible, totally ridiculous. And we had a full whatever, like Boeing flight full.
Do you feel like it was Brexit induced or no?
Hard to say, honestly. It's like it was my first time sort of navigating through sort of customs in London, but
yeah,
they had like 3 big different lines and just only like 2 representatives that were trying to handle the few hundred people that were exiting off of this flight. And like,
No, good.
and we eventually sort of got through sort of no problem and sort of got to sort of where we needed to be, but just like an unnecessary inefficiency. And the biggest thing that sort of we were saying was like, hey, it's like, you knew we were coming. You knew when we were coming, how many people there were going to be. Just make it so you can process us faster.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. I mean, I don't run into that much trouble. The only times I actually sort of run into trouble is like, I'm a dual citizen, so I'm a Canadian and American citizen.
Mm-hmm.
I have a passport for both my citizenships, and I carry both passports with me everywhere I go. In terms of travel, I don't carry it to work or whatever, but like, when I travel, I carry both passports because honestly, Daryl, sometimes it's convenient to be a Canadian and sometimes it's very convenient to be an American.
What's the sort of official way to do that? Are you only supposed to bring one, or how does that work?
I don't think there is. I think it's like if I go somewhere as a Canadian, I'm supposed to come back as a Canadian. But I mean, I travel on both basically. I can go to like Cuba on my Canadian passport, you know, like but I have to fly from Canada kind of deal. Which usually you go through like Mexico City or something, I think, usually. Yeah, so, you know, I don't know the rules.
Yeah.
Maybe there are rules and I'm like really getting myself in trouble here. But I do have both passports and I have them both in a passport wallet, and when they ask for my passport at the gate or the check-in, I take my passport out and I take them. Sometimes I have both, and they're like, "What's the other? What's that?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm like, it's my Canadian passport." And then they ask a few more questions about like, why do you have two passports?
I mean, do you also keep like your jewelry and sort of like a stack of money next to your passport wallet? Because you know, I mean,
always gotta, you know, gotta. Yeah. So that's the only time. I mean, I don't love them, the customs, borders and customs. I mean, they're not doing great. I don't want to get all political, but they're not doing great stuff right now in our country,
right.
You know? So I also have an anti-shout-out this week, FYI.
We're going negative. Okay.
We're going negative.
Equals positive,
all right,
really.
I'm about to like get real as hell about my life. I haven't bought boxers since maybe I was 15 years old.
Okay.
Right? Like, I just like I've had the boxers I own, like since I was, you know what I mean? It's just like I just have the boxers.
Are you the same
them.
size person that you were at 15?
I mean, like, boxers are stretchy. You know what I mean? It's like they make a medium size. I'm not like I haven't switched size class.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I
haven't switched to a small or I haven't switched to a large since I was 15. I've been a medium. I've been a medium sized boxer. Sweet New York Liberty hat, by the way. Shout out to the WNBA.
Yo, shout out to you, man. I got this because of that one time.
We bought tickets to go, and then I couldn't go for some reason.
But
yeah, monster. So I've been to 3 different stores recently. I just decided it was time to get a couple new pairs of boxers. You know, the elastic's going on some. You know, some got holes in them and shit. It's not good. It's not a pretty situation down there. Some reason, the world up and moved on. And everybody switched over to these horrible, stretchy briefs, you know, that cradle your dick and tug tight around your leg. They're like tighty whities, but with legs.
I mean, you can blame the skinny jean craze for that. Like, people started wearing the slimmer pants.
Is that what it is?
People started wearing the slimmer pants, and then they couldn't fit like a normal size boxer into those skinny pants.
I just shove them in there. I wear skinny-ish jeans sometimes. I just shove them in. It's nice to have a little, you know,
a little extra,
little extra cushion bunched up in there. I just want a pair of boxers. So I went to TJ Maxx. I went to like Walmart, you know, which is not a place I go normally. I went to a fancy. I went to like Banana. Nothing.
None?
Nobody has any fucking boxers. They had like 1 pack of boxers.
Oh.
And you know, they weren't the right size. I mean, it was just crazy. It's like, when did we all decide these were what we wanted? That is crazy. Why can't a man just buy a pair of fucking boxers?
And you're not
these
looking
days?
for anything. You're not looking for crazy patterns. You just want like
Picture
a
boxers in your head.
That's
That's
what
what
you're
I'm
looking for.
That's what I'm looking for. Yep, that's what I'm looking for. So
What's the next step? What are you gonna do?
online?
I'm going another 15 years right now.
Gotta go on. I guess I'm gonna ride this thing out. I can't find a fucking until they come back around in style.
They could be, honestly. Like the wide pant trend is like up and coming, man.
Boxers are like breezy.
Yeah.
You know, they give me a little room for comfort. They give me a little like I like the material better, the cotton material versus the stretchy polyester.
And if you need to receive a delivery or something and you're just wearing your boxers, it's like sort of acceptable for you to like interact with the
they're
delivery
like mini
person.
pants.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But like
they're like miniature pants.
But if you do that in a boxer brief, it's just like you're gonna get reported to the government.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Don't expose yourself to me,
Disgusting.
sir.
That's a disgusting upper thigh I'm seeing right now.
But yeah, I mean, I don't like roll out like full swing the door open for the pizza guy. I'm like, here's my boxers, but like I'll crack it.
I mean,
you
the
know
pizza,
what I mean?
the pizza has to get through the door. You had to open it enough for
I
a
opened
large
it
pizza.
width.
Come on,
I opened it
that's
pizza width.
That's enough to.
But
where
sometimes
you need to make sure.
Sometimes I angle the pizza a little just to get it a little.
I'm not wearing my good boxers right now. Put it in sideways.
Yeah, put it a little sideways.
Yeah.
Yeah. These ones don't have a button in the front, which also nice. They have a button in the front.
Dude, no.
Classy.
No. You don't want the button in front. Like
classy.
I have a few pair of boxers. When you got the button in front, it becomes a dangerous situation real quick. It's just like you're about to go to the bathroom, you got the zipper down, and you're just like, all right, it's time, and then boom, you hit another button.
You're obviously a boxer amateur.
What
You're
am I
obviously
doing
a boxer amateur because you don't button the button.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You only button the button when the pizza man arrives.
All right, I feel you. Yeah,
that's the only time.
They should put that on. They should put that on the boxer packaging. It's like, oh, it comes with a pizza guy friendly button in front. It's like, dude, that's exactly right. That's what I'm talking about. That's a premium boxer.
So that's my shout out and my anti shout out this week. Bring back boxers, people.
I feel like there's something out for you. I feel like we can solve this problem and get you back into a nice, sturdy, 15-year boxer.
All right, I'm putting you on the case.
I'll find him.
Find him. Get him. I'll pay you for it. I'll pay you like a 20% markup on these boxers for real. So, all right, what else you want to talk about? Too fast, too furious.
I thought I had a really good merch idea for potentially our Patreon and other sort of people who are interested in it.
We have a Patreon, FYI, now. Become patrons. Patreon.com/No One Likes a Tuna Podcast.
I would love to create a t-shirt for Brian O'Connor's School of Driving.
Yep.
Right? I don't know if I said this before, but like that's absolutely like a shirt that I would wear.
This is an easy thing to do. We'll put it in a tier for sure.
Put it in a tier.
We'll tier it up.
We'll get like a small little Nolt podcast thing on it, but primarily it's going to be a Brian O'Connor School of Driving shirt.
Yep. That's it. Can you design it? Because you did the last t-shirt design for Fredo.
Yeah.
Fredo in Dallas was the guy who, I don't know who it is, but he's a cool guy, and he won the last t-shirt contest, and we sent him one t-shirt.
Which one?
It's the only t-shirt we've ever made.
Was it the one with the tuna?
I think you have a drawing of it at your house right now. Is it there?
No
in
way.
the mic bag?
I definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, is it
There's
in
a
the
plastic?
Is it in
it's
the
in the
bag?
mic bag. Yeah.
1 second.
You got
here.
it?
One second.
Yeah. Go grab it.
1 second.
While Daryl's away, I just want to talk about the fact that his apartment is super nice. You guys can't see it right now, but he moved there maybe a year and a half ago, and it is beautiful. Hey, what's up, Daryl?
Hello.
Did you find it?
I didn't find it, but I brought the bag, so we'll do some dual searching right here.
Okay.
And see if we can find what we're
See
looking
that plastic folder right there?
Yeah.
Plastic folder. That's the only thing you need. It's in there. Yeah, that's it. Show the people.
Hold on, let me get this off my laptop. Oh my god, this is beautiful.
Yeah, it's classic.
This
Show
is
the
beautiful
people.
here.
That's it. No one likes the Tuna podcast.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you drew that years ago.
Beautiful. So
Back when you were a youth.
I think I was trying to go for the. I think I was trying to draw the Supra here, and I did it sort of with the top off. So we're talking end of the Fast and the Furious movie, and I've got this goofy looking Tuna over here. He looks so good. And I did like a pretty accurate representation of the livery on the side of the Supra there.
You're like Suki in this movie. She's like sketching the car, which is such a bad drawing. Okay, first of all, the best part about this moment in the movie, which is kind of a good moment, is Suki's drawing this terrible drawing. I mean, it's like fine, but it's like a white car, and she's like drawing some shit on it, which never materializes, by the way.
No, that's not true. So there is, so when they are doing kind of like the pre-Verone bust sort of montage, where he's like, oh yeah, we're gonna need to put that extra half can of NOS in here because we might have some extra things. They cut across, and right in the beginning of that, they show Suki, and then they show the front quarter of.
Yeah, okay.
They show the front quarter with the same sort of like blue, green, orange.
Is it a white car with a blue, green, orange stuff on it?
No, it's a.
Because that's what she's drawing.
No, she doesn't draw a white car. She just hadn't finished coloring it all in yet. Okay. All right.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that, my friend. But then the great, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, she's great. She's the best. That's the crazy part. Is he says this line. Yeah, that one's good too. Tyrese is like, that's some real artistic shit right there. That's what. And then Brian has this crazy ADR line where his lips do not line up with like what he's saying at all. But he goes, "Yeah, she's great. She's the best." And then everyone just moves on for the rest of the movie, which is wild. It's wild, yo. So, yeah, obviously good part in the movie. If Suki came back, I don't know if we've ever talked about Suki coming back to this franchise, but Devin Aoki really should.
I don't think it would be out of place to see her in the next movie, right? Like, especially because we've got sort of the Tokyo Drift timeline, and she doesn't meet her demise at any point. Sort of
they keep threatening to bring Eva Mendes back from this movie, which they haven't done,
right?
So,
but I
don't see why they wouldn't.
The whole thing about it is like Tej is still in the movies, and he's sort of like grown in his sort of like character and sort of like his presence within the team. He should definitely bring Suki back.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
And I imagine, and I sort of made a note about this, like, I think Suki might have been the single inspiration for Tokyo Drift. She has what she does, right? She's got the Japanese influence, and she drives. Not only does she drive the S2000, which is what Johnny Tran drove in the previous movie. She also when she's drawing on the drawing the decals on it, I can tell from the headlights it's a Nissan Z, which is DK's car. Yeah. Single inspo.
Johnny Tran, can I ask a question?
Please do.
Is he Japanese?
So Tran is normally a Vietnamese last name.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. But Suki for sure is Japanese.
Yes, that we know. Devin is Japanese. And her, weirdly, I discovered bajillionaire DJ brother, Steve.
Yeah. Dim Mak.
Yeah, also Japanese.
Right. Of Hansai,
or of Japanese descent.
Right.
Yeah.
I knew about them because they own...
You knew about Steve.
I knew about Steve, I knew about Devin, and I made the connection later on, but I remember the thing that tied them together was they have a like a hibachi place in Japantown in San Francisco.
I'm not into hibachi.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like hibachi.
No?
No.
You don't like the spectacle?
I've been to a bunch, and I don't like it. Nope. You're paying for the spectacle. And you know what? It's fine, but it's not that great.
Hold on. Is your video stopped?
My video has not stopped. My FaceTime video?
Mm-hmm.
No, my screen recording is going. Has your screen recording stopped?
I don't see you moving in the FaceTime any longer.
Oh, have I frozen?
You have frozen. And I'm not sure how to check whether or not my screen recording is going. Oh, I think it is, actually.
Yeah.
Because I see a thing up there.
These are technical issues we got to deal with here on No One Likes the Tuna podcast.
Hey, man.
But we're basically done. We're over it. So we'll check. I'll unfreeze at some point, and then we'll be good.
Sounds good.
You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/No One Likes the Tuna podcast.
Yes, I think.
Yep. And Twitter
Mm-hmm.
at Nolt Podcast, NOLTT. And a couple other places now. YouTube, No One Likes the Tuna podcast. There's a fucking channel. You could just search it.
You'll find it.
You'll find us. Watch us on YouTube. Get us some fucking some of that monetization dollar.
It's gonna be so many pennies.
We can't have the intro and outro song on YouTube because they snagged it. Yeah, they got us on that one.
Yeah.
The algorithm picked it up.
Okay, all right.
But we'll still add it to the pod.
We should do like an acapella sort of remix of it, so we can own the rights to our own.
I think we're too good at singing, and they'll still snag us. What's our last? Oh, Patreon. We got a Patreon now. So go. There's a bunch of tiers. There's a bunch of cool shit. Participatory. There's one. I'm gonna set up some like one tier where you can vote on the in between movies that we watch.
Yes.
So there'll be like 3 movies that we feel are kind of in the Tuniverse, and you can pick which one we watch what week. So that's a tier. There's like a T-shirt tier, obviously, that we're gonna set up. There's a shout out tier where we shout out your, we like, I don't know. Just look. I didn't spend a lot of time on it.
We'll
but
get it
it's
together.
fine.
We'll get it together.
We won't. But it's cool. Anyway, yeah, join up. The Facebook. Daryl's going to send out some links to the YouTube and to the Patreon and Twitter and shit. So, yeah, hit us up. Let us know what's going on with you guys. And email. No One Likes the Tuna podcast at gmail.com. Life's good. That's it, I think.
I think so. So we'll catch up next week for Tokyo Drift.
You doing any like new cool drugs lately?
Drugs?
Yeah.
No, none.
No.
Just
Just checking. See what people are up to. That's it.
Okay.
All right.
Later, Tuniverse.
Later, man. Have a great week.
Thanks.
Bye.